everybody. Happy Sunday, wherever you are tuning in from. So I'm going to pretend that this is my house and I have a fireplace because I don't in South Florida. So that's definitely one of the things that I miss about the holidays. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is some great new products that we can use for the holiday time. So I'm going to walk you through a lot of what I do. At first is very standard. For my makeup, I always start with foundation primer. And I'm going to definitely focus that where I have the larger pores. And you go in every direction because kind of like how it's back of the wall. Okay. So the one thing that is different when I'm going to use these products, so I'm going to show you, these are some great glitter shadows. Okay. So we have the champagne, the rose, and the sparkling. I think that's what it's called. Hold on. Yes, the sparkling champagne and the rose. Okay. Because these have shimmer or glitter in them, I do my eyes first. Okay. I do my eyes first because it's going to make a difference. And what I do love about these is you can blend them together. You can mix and match. I'm going to show you there's some pros and cons to, applying them either right off the applicator or using your finger. Okay, so of these three colors, my favorite is the rose, and I think it's because it just has a smaller shimmer in it. I'm going to be honest, okay? But I'm going to show you today, I'm going to go with the sparkling. I'm going to show you both, like, if you applied it with the applicator, you can absolutely do it this way and then use your finger. And why would you want to use your finger? Because your finger actually kind of helps the product adhere into your skin a little bit better. However, if you want to put a little bit more product on, I recommend using a brush to do it. And I'm going to use the brush to pat it on. Okay. And pat, you always want to pat, especially when you use shimmer, because you want to get it saturated, but you can definitely tell that it's more saturated here. I just need to get some more on the applicator. It's definitely more saturated when you use a brush. And I'm going to tell you, I should totally be doing this in the mirror and not the camera, but we'll see what we got. Okay. And then I have to relax my eye. So that's how my eye normally looks. We have a tendency. So you can definitely tell way more. And the product, although it's lays along my skin, with putting it on by the applicator and patting it on with your finger, you do not get the full coverage. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this side and definitely put some more on. So this is obviously this sparkling color is a little bit like a silver. Or really, to me, it is a silver. I also know people who have used this as highlighters. Okay. So what you want to make sure is when you are doing a glittery shadow like this, you can totally just use the shadow, but you need to keep it onto the lid. You can't go all the way up to the brow bone. That gets to be a bit much, okay? But I'm going to show you how I like to kind of take this up a little bit of a notch. And I'm going to go in with Sunlight Rose, okay? So you guys can see that, Sunlight Rose. And here, I do have a mirror. And I'm actually going to take this into the crease. I'm going to take this into the crease to create a little bit more interest. Now, why am I picking Sunlight Rose? Because I feel like this color plays off of the silver well because it doesn't have like too much gold or anything. So I'm still doing like how I normally do what I call the V. So I'm giving added dimension to this. And then I just go and I blur the edges. And everything looks better once you finish your brows. Okay, but this is going to give me a little bit more kind of like just a little extra shimmer, right? You can then also go back in and do something darker here with the Merlot. Okay. Where you really emphasize that. But what I do like about using this Sunlight Rose is because it kind of gives this dimension, and then it helps the silver really be like the highlighter. So for me, I always want to be lighter on my lid because I have those deep set eyes. And again, I would never want to put shimmer up there. Okay. So now we'll go to the other side, and I will tell you that even though I used a brush, and even though, well, on this side I used my finger first, there's still glitter that gets places. It just is. And that's why I like to use my shadow first for this so that I can clean up what goes on underneath. So thanks for joining. Feel free to drop where you're coming from. And this is just going to give you a little added sparkle. Okay, so this was the shimmer. The champagne looks really nice. And like I said, this rose is one of my favorites. And I'm going to show you how you could actually have gone in with the rose to make a little bit more of, instead of using the powdered shadow. Okay, I'm going to take some of this Sunlight Rose. I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand because it will work better that way. I'm going to go in with an angle brush, and I'm going to use this almost now as a liner. But you guys see, again, I do it in the mirror. You guys see how that's giving this almost like a faux liner, but I love it because this is so pigmented. It's so pigmented. So let me come on this side so you guys can see it. It's so pigmented. This red rose color is so great to me. And it's a perfect red for the holidays. So I'm showing you that I just kind of used this as a little bit, like I almost made like a winged liner out of this, just so you guys could see that they lay really nice over each other. I would honestly kind of let them set before you piled the next one on top of it, okay? Because you don't want to put wet on top of wet, then it starts to get a little bit muddy looking, okay? So if you feel like, okay, I want a little bit more wow, like you want more definition in your crease, I will tell you again, just be patient. Just be patient, because once we finish our eyes or the rest of our face up, it's going to all come together. That's the one thing that I usually don't like doing my eyes first, but I feel like with shimmer, you kind of have to. Okay. So one of the things I do before I start is I get my eye makeup remover, and I will just, I don't saturate the cotton pad like I would if I was taking off my eye makeup, right? I kind of am just, I'm so in love with that rose color. And I'll just make sure I go ahead and I pick up any of that glitter that fell. Will you miss an errant one? Probably. But sometimes I get like a big one, and it's just good to know that I took the big chunk away. All right, so then I go back. Sorry, guys. I will go back and just make sure I have no residue there. And I'm going to go actually like I normally would. I'm keep putting my mirror away, guys. Sometimes I feel like I need somebody in here just to hand me things because I'm a little crazy. Okay. So I'm doing my under eye corrector, which you guys will see. Mix these dark circles, neutralize, And it's kind of like a magic potion. Well, it's not really magic. It is science. It's color theory. So peach on the color wheel is opposite purple, therefore it neutralizes. That's why, like, if you have redness, you usually use a green color correcting stick because they're across from each other on the color wheel, therefore they neutralize the tone. Oh my gosh, already so much better. So much better. Okay, just because it's at night, I'm just going to do CC cream with, if I was going out, like really, this is my holiday, I would do CC cream like I'm going to do now, and then I would put my Time Wise 3D foundation over it because that's going to give me the most flawless finish. So you know what, maybe I'll show you on one side of my face how much of a difference that makes. Yeah, that rose is still my favorite. If you were watching the replay, just go ahead and drop replay in there. Okay, so so this CC cream did exactly what I want it to do, right? So it corrected my skin. It looks pretty flawless, okay? But again, I like, if for a fully finished look, to put my 3D foundation on top. So let me just do it on one side so you guys will be able to see the difference. Just because it's going to give you, I have just some lighter spots of my skin because of the medication that, you know, happens when we get older, but luckily I don't have to take it anymore, so no more of the spots are happening. But if you guys ever notice that, first please check to see what you're taking, because it could be the medication that's actually causing pigmentation changes to your skin. That's actually quite common, and no doctors really tell us about that. All right, so now it takes a little while. Sorry, my nose is running. It takes a while for it to fully set, but this will definitely has, you can now see that those spots are way harder to see. Like, I have more discoloration on this side. At this point, I am like a fiend with our setting spray. Like, sometimes I go nuts and do my under eyes spray, CC cream spray, but for sure after foundation, spray. Okay. And that just makes sure that it lasts all day. Also, I always want to make sure I do a little bit of translucent powder, or if I know I'm going to get my picture taken, I do our setting powder, which has a tint to it, and it won't give any flashback. So just being cognizant of what you're doing, so that it makes, you know, you don't want to put translucent powder on and then be like, oh, it looks like I'm so much whiter than I normally am. It's just the flashback happening. Okay, so now you can see it's coming back into normal tone for me. Because it's the holidays, I'm actually going to use one of our bronzer sticks that we had. If you guys want these, I still have them. Okay. Now, I'm putting the bronzer stick not down here where my teeth meet, because I will look like a hollow person. And you don't want to put that down too far because it makes you look like a skeleton. Okay, so the trick is to do it actually on just the bottom third of your cheekbone. And then when you blend, you're going to blend up. You do not want to blend your contour down. It will make you look like a skeleton. And it will also sometimes so hollow out your face that it will look like you're too skinny. Okay. So this is a bronzing stick. You could absolutely use contour here. Just because it's the holidays, I'm going to do it because it's going to give me a little extra added glow. So you guys can see that. Okay. A little extra glow. And you could still go in with a cream-based cheek color, okay, right now, or you could use a powdered one. I'm going to use one of our powdered ones here. And this is actually another little trick when applying blush. One, you want to smile. You don't want to ever put it too close to your nose, okay? And if you're looking to give yourself a lift, think about putting it higher than you would normally put. So here's my cheek, okay? And I have nice full cheeks, okay? So I'm going to put it just a little bit above my apple of my cheek, and then I'm going to pull it up. But you have to kind of go where your midpoint is, because if you only put it out here, the center of your face is going to look a little odd, okay? So you can see the difference. It actually helps lift the face, and it helps me look like I have more volume there, okay? So smile, I'm going to put it just on the top part of actually, like my apple, so I'm almost close to the bone, like orbital bone, right? And then I bring it up my temple. Now, I do like to do a little bit of contouring, so I'm going to go to the flat side of the stick around this part of my nose. And you're going to see it's just going to make, it's like total optical illusions. It makes my nose just a little skinnier. Okay, just a little skinnier. But that's what's great. A lot of people use the contour on the forehead if they feel like they have a very, very large forehead. Okay, and now the last thing to do is to frame out that eye area that we spent some time doing, and you're going to see it's going to make the eyes look a lot more finished once we put our lips. And for this, I keep it a pretty neutral gloss on my lips because I don't want to overdo it, right? I did shimmer on the eyes. I gave a little bit of a bronzer stick with some shimmer on the cheeks instead of just the flat contour. Okay, so I don't want to overdo it with that. But can you already see this is helping that eye area look finished? And you could go in here with brow tint too if you didn't have, like I have pretty full lashes. But if you want either, like if they're not quite the same tone that you want, like some people, I have a couple like gray eyebrow hairs. Okay. It all happens to us, okay? But the brows definitely make a difference. And then you always want to make sure you brush them up so that it gives you that little snatched look. Okay, again, I would put on the setting spray to make it all last. With the lips, what I'm actually going to do is go in with Rose, but my lip gloss is going to help tone it down. I'm not going to go super heavy-handed here. I'm just gonna barely take this lip liner. So it's almost just a shade darker than my natural color. And it's just definition. As you can see, I don't go all the way to the corner because if we line on the border of our mouth and we go all the way to the corner, as gravity starts to affect our corner, we start to look like we have a permanent frown. So it's okay not to pull it all the way to the corner. It actually gives us a little bit more of a pouty look too, which is nice. Okay, so I'm going to go now into, this is our tawny nude, which is a color I normally don't go for, but I like it here because it just kind of gives a little enhancement. And you don't have to line your lips. You could go with a lipstick, but it kind of gives a little bit of just a finish there. And again, if I went with a lot of that rose color, it would make a big difference. And then I'm just going to finish right now with our ultimate, but for the holidays, I love to do the ultimate and layer it with our waterproof Lash Love lengthening because it is then going to snatch those out. Okay. Now you'll be like, well, you didn't even do eyeliner. I used, remember that darker rose as the liner. But once the shadow dries, you can absolutely go back with one of our new waterproof cream pencils. It will glide right on top of it. Boom. So I don't know about you, but I would totally feel happy to go to, I'm just going to get rid of some of this gloss, happy to go to a party like this. Like, it's a little, like, yeah, a little taste shimmer. I have a lot of volume happening in my cheeks, and it just looks put together. It looks like I have a little holiday sparkle, but it looks still like me, because if you guys have been watching any of my stuff, you know, I'm a very natural look. That's kind of my, how I like to do my makeup. This is a little over, like a little glam extra for me. However, it's still me, and I think that's important, like you to find your style and go with what works for you. Okay, and I'm going to just show you with a little eye makeup remover how these come off. Okay, so you guys can see the difference, the sparkling, the champagne, and the rose. With one swipe, most of it came off. How do I normally use my eye makeup remover? You guys know I saturate the pad, and I don't really wipe, right? I put it on here and I wiggle, 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 but you guys can see a lot came up just from the first. A wiggle, 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 and then after I wiggle, 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 like pretty much everything is gone. And that makes the difference, is you're letting the product actually break it down. And with glitter, you want to do that. You don't want to be spreading this glitter everywhere. You want to allow the product to break it down, so it makes it easier for cleanup for you. So if you have a powerful pink on purpose day, remember that you are worthy of having a great holiday look always.